Government is undoubtedly in the unenviable position of balancing the interest of different stakeholders in the economy. One such complexity is in trying to accommodate the interest of business and the needs of the poor. Business acknowledges that more needs to be done to bring about equality in South Africa, but it doesn't always agree with government on how to get there. Recent proposed regulatory changes to black ownership rules and mining rights are cases in point. While the state sees this as essential to drive transformation, business cries too much intervention in the economy.
We're engaging with government to represent the case of a number of industries which find themselves in uncertain circumstances. The security industry is one of those, where there's a 51% ownership requirement for foreign security companies operating in South Africa. A number of companies, both domestic and international, are still concerned about the operationalization of the BEE codes and what that means for their enterprises. Most businesses are deeply concerned that the gains they've made under the previous codes would now be lost under the new codes, and accordingly, investments they've made in positioning themselves as BEE compliant enterprises would accordingly be lost.
And while the nationalization debate has largely died down, Saki says recent changes to petroleum laws, which will allow government a stake of 20% in new gas and oil production, have again raised red flags for business.
When you introduce pieces of legislation that speak of local ownership, that speak to government automatically receiving an ownership share in enterprises, then it stokes those fears around nationalization.
The reopening of land claims for the next 5 years is also considered another source of great uncertainty by mostly farmers. Action Aid is a non-governmental organization with a strong focus on supporting poor communities. It's dismissed concerns from business, saying policy shift over the last 20 years has favored business, including the land restitution policy.
The truth is that the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development's land reform policy is still the same one we've had for 20 years, the same ineffective one that has not yielded an effective land reform process in our country. So if we look at the current case of the extractives bill going through Parliament, all the changes that's been introduced has been aimed at facilitating business, making it easier for them to do business, making it cheaper, and actually at the cost of beneficiation of mining communities in the sector.
Brand South Africa is a state agency tasked with marketing of South Africa and its image, particularly to foreign investors. It says South African policies are fairly understood internationally and pose no serious risk to investment flows. According to the Reserve Bank, foreign direct investment flows reached 79 billion rand in 2013, up from 37 billion rand in 2012.
There is a need for tighter coordination, I think, in certain instances. Also, we got a lot of input last year through our competitiveness forum on a lot of those kind of issues. And often it's not solutions that one can reach overnight. You know, it's a case of looking at the strategic objectives of the country in the first instance, and then how do you align your policies and make it easier, you know, to coordinate between different spheres of government, for example, to make, say, infrastructure projects a reality, make service delivery projects more streamlined and implemented.
Business says the relenting attack by Labour on government strategies, including the National Development Plan, risks derailing policy implementation. There are also fears that the review of the country's tax system may impact negatively on business, particularly mining companies. Many feel certainty and clarity are needed on all these issues to unlock the investment pipeline from the private sector necessary to boost growth and job creation. Liuta Mutlogelwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.